Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, all bagged up and frozen, and that will keep really, really good. I like to double bag them with double freezer bags, and of course, all right okra on them. But what really makes a difference is doing that crispy breading, right? Because that breading really protects the vegetable. You don't have to fully cook them. If they need a little bit more cooking, that's okay, because when you bring them out, thaw them out, get them out to room temperature, I like to heat them up in the oven at like 200 degrees. You can microwave them, obviously, just to get them hot and eat right away, but if you warm them slowly after they're thawed out, they feel just like they're right out of the deep fryer. You down with TTT? Cast iron kettle with high premium palm oil, slowly heating to temperature. Egg wash, flour with spice mixture, a lot of paprika, garlic, spice, a lot of white pepper, parsley, right? You want to be able to smell your flour. You want to make your flour smell flavorful, all right? So we're going to mix up the egg wash. Okay. It's got egg, milk, Worcester sour sauce, a little bit of A1 sauce, salt and pepper. So, mostly egg, 6 eggs in there. You always want to use a bigger tub than what you need. It gives you room to work. So that's it, guys. That's a preliminary for frying okra. We're doing a big batch because we're going to fry it all off to crispy texture and let it cool down to room temperature. We're going to bag it, freeze it, and be able to store it for, quite a few months. And grab them out and just warm them up slowly in the oven, and there you go. All right, let's check our oil. So again, I like to heat my oil very slowly, right? I think it's best. Put the lid on there. And of course, my iron was all cleaned and oiled before I put the cooking oil in. This pot here I'm not really using, but it's something I could dump in, and it also allows me to rest my hot lid very easily. Let's try to do the little preparatory things that make it easier for you. And this is what we're going to use in our oil here, right? So you can see the low fire, not trying to heat it in a real hurry. I've got about 3/4 full, so I got plenty of room for oil boil, right? We're not going to do large batches at a time. You can see we're, it's about maybe a 3/4 cast iron kettle. Works great for the deep fryer though. I mean, obviously you could do this in an aluminum pot with more oil and make your own deep fryer situation. I like to use the iron because once you get it to the temperature you want, then it seems to maintain that temperature and not overcook. And what's great about the premium palm oils here in Thailand, and they're not that expensive. It's about $2 a bottle here. So, but I always buy the premium palm oil, and if you look up the information on that, do an internet search on it, you'll find that it takes quite a bit to burn it up. It's really long-lasting oil. So that's what they use in Thailand a lot for cooking donuts and, big deep fryer stuff. Well, that's what we're using here today. All right, so all we got to do now is cut up some okra and other vegetables, right? And then after I cut them to the size that I want them, we will first coat them with flour, shake off the flour, go into the egg, then from the egg back into the flour, shake it off again, and then into the oil. So that's the process. All right, all I gotta do is cut some okra. Kind of up to you how you want to cut your okra. I basically custom cut it. So when you got the young, fresh ones like these, you can cut those in pretty big sections, right? Because they're real tender. But you got some of the older ones, right? Cut those a little thinner. So that's the way I do it. So if you see bigger chunks, those are the younger, fresher ones, and the smaller slices are the bigger, a little bit more tough ones, right? All right, so let's get into the flouring. One of the key things for me, anytime you're deep frying vegetables, is the dryness. You don't want a lot of moisture. The moisture is going to come from the egg, but we want to start dry, okay? So I just use a little basket like this, kind of transfer things around. The okra was all washed and drained, several hours ago. So we're going to go into the flour there and just use a fork, just cover it and kind of keep it on one. That's why I like using more flour than you possibly need and a bigger tub than you possibly need. Just going to make your work easier. All right. So now how are we going to get that into the egg? Well, pretty simple, really. Just get you one of these things here or something similar, right? And don't be in no big hurry about it. Just fish them out of there. Right. And you know, Triple T, you always mix a mess in the kitchen. Right. We're going to shake that off. We just got it lightly coated there and then into the bag. Right. You don't get them all, don't worry about it. You're going to be doing several batches here, so just get in there and get them. This also kind of helps sieve your flour a little bit. Right. Get in there with your hands on, get some of them. It's all good. Right. I know I got a comment on earlier video said, my wife went crazy when you threw flour all over. I clean as I go, but while I'm doing, I'm doing it. I'm not worried about making a little mess. And you can see I'm crowded up against the dishes. I need more counter space, but for the purpose of the camera, I'm trying to keep everything over here for y'all, right? Shake those all. Throw them in there. I think I got them all. Maybe one scraggly. No. Get in there and make sure. Okay, that's him. So for the purpose of this video, that's why we're crowded right here. Okay, you know, obviously I got more counter space behind me and all that, but trying to keep everything focused right here in one of those spots would be easier for me. So now we got that in the egg. Shake them up a little bit. Fish them back out there again. Now we're going to drain that egg off, right? Drain that egg off. And this is why you want more flour than you need, because you really want to coat these things. So don't give yourself a little skimpy bit of flour and small bowl, right? Give yourself plenty of room, depending on the size of the batch you're doing, right? And if you don't get every one of them out of there, don't worry, because you know, I'm fixing to start another batch right after this one. I think our oil is about ready. We'll test that here in just a second. Slow heat with cast iron, you can get by with a lot of prep time on your fire that you can't do with a lighter aluminum deep fryer, right? So now they're getting a little sloppy. If you want to go to a different utensil for this here, it's not a bad idea, you know. Kind of getting a little sloppy, so we can keep that one kind of for the egg. Get in here with this thing. And flip stuff over. Gets coated pretty quick with that egg on it. Right. Now this one might be a little fine for, it'll work, I think. It'll work. Alright, there we go. So now we got our good coating on the okra. Let's see. Do a test on the oil here. 1, 2, 3. Is it ready? Yeah, that's exactly what we want. That's exactly what we want. So now we're just going to feed it. And try not to feed too fast because you can overboil, right? Get some of that excess flour off there. You're always going to have a little bit of that. But again, we got premium oil, so should be good. And you know, you can leave some excess flour. You know, you want extra crispy and stuff. You don't want to take all the flour off of it. And again, you can get in there with your hands. Pull you over here for a minute. Don't be afraid to get in there with your hands. And I apologize for the mess and being over here by the sink counter. It's just kind of the way I had things set up, you know. But don't be afraid. Just get in there with your hands. Get them suckers. Get some excess flour out of your way. Go to work on them. All right. Grab a few more. I want to get them all in there fairly close to each other within a minute or two, right? But again, we're cooking these. I mean, you could cook these and eat them hot. It would be no difference. But we're cooking batches to freeze and preserve. You've got this crispy batter on there. It's pretty. Get in with your hands. I got a little excess flour there. Kind of toss them around. Okay. That's the last of them for this batch. It should be okay. Now, got another gadget right here. Right. Don't want to stir too much too early though. Okay, we'll get a little brown on there first. So I like to get the crispy with no lid on before we start covering them up. Right? All right, stay tuned. All right, while that was cooking off, I went ahead and chopped another batch, right? You can see what I'm talking about. Like, if they're big and tough ones, I'll slice them thin, right? But if they're young, fresh ones, I'll leave them big old tips. I mean, you could even fry them whole if you wanted to. You know, you're always going to have to mix. You can't. We got okra growing so crazy that it's hard to keep up with. You know, we should be ready for a stir here. Huh? Now we're not knocking the flour off. That's what I like about the cast iron. It's maintaining temperature well. It's not burning, not getting overheated. Slow cook is always better. We got the brown and crispy on them now, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the cast iron lid on. So we got a little pressure cooker fryer, right? I'll give that a minute, see what happens. Cover that up. And again, we got this drop box over here. I could put paper towels in the bottom, but really, guys, I'm letting these cool all the way down. I'm not eating any today. I'm not eating it at all. I'm letting it cool back down to room temperature. I'm gonna put them on a dry rack right after that, and make sure they're nice and dry and crispy, and then I'll freezer bag them. So that's why I'm not really too concerned about paper towels under them or anything like that. It's all going to go in drying rack. Okay, so we got one in the wash, as they say. Over here we got a batch in the wash. Same, not any different.
I can't think.
Let's get set up on our drainage on the oil. That was just kind of our starting point. All right, let them cool down to room temperature. These is pretty much ready to go, I believe. And the thing about it is, when you're freezing it, it's not critical that they're perfectly cooked and tender, because you're gonna take them out and do something with them. You want to, refry them. You can refry them, or bake them in the oven a little bit, right? So if you didn't have them fully cooked, as long as you got that crispy batter, that's what you want. Right? Crispy batter's got to be there for you. That's what protects it from the freezer burn. Makes the okra taste like it's fresh right out of the garden, which this is right out of our garden. Alright. So there's the second batch, guys. Not bad. Okay. With this fine net. I mean, it's not crucial, but it helps if you get some of the burnt flour out of there. Right? Tap it off over here in the sink. Garbage disposal of that stuff. It's still got quite a bit of flour in the oil, but the oil holds up good, so we're not too concerned about that. We're just gonna shut that oil down, put the lid on it, keep it kind of right where it's at. Right? It's not gonna cool down fast. That's what's nice about the iron. You can't beat iron when you ain't got your act together and you need to go slow. So you see we got our drying rack over here. We're going to be ready to freeze that. You want to make sure it get way down to room temperature, 72 degrees or lower. You don't want to bag it while it's hot. It's going to create moisture in the bag. Alright guys, I didn't have all my okra prep. I got more prep. I got a couple batches ready now, so put the oil back on. I'm not going to bother you with all of this repeating the exact same thing, right? Again, some of the bigger, tougher okra I cut thin, Makes it easier. When you're eating them, they get a little more crunchy and not as tender when they get old, but they're still worth cooking, right? So we'll just cut this right here and we'll jump to the end, right? We'll get this third batch in. Obviously the fourth batch, fifth batch, it's all going to be the same process here. And what we're going to do to test the oil, that's right, the one-piece test. Always do the one-piece test. I had the oil off for a little while I was cutting more okra, so I went ahead and cranked the fire on it. The day you quit learning is the day you're 6 feet underground. That's what I was told when I was a young man by an old wise man. I listened to him. I think that's right. Because I've had a lot of experience in galleys and cooking and stuff, and I think it's a great art. Culinary arts. I enjoy doing it. Doesn't mean that I can't learn something new. So you always go slow, man. Always go slow. Do the test runs. Do the little one-piece stuff, right? Do all that. There ain't no reason to get in a hurry when you're cooking. Hey, safety first, right? So that looks like it's rolling pretty good now. See, it's just a little old thin piece. So, but I still. When I drop these in here, I can get my hands in there if I want, if I'm not sure how many it's going to hold without, getting too high on the oil and causing a problem. Yeah, I need to go down now on the fire for sure. Thing about cast iron, you can shut it completely off and cool it quick. It's pretty hot. It's alright though, it's not too bad. It's not going to scorch it or anything. Fire's off, so it's cooling down. Turn it around a little bit early here, get that oil cooling off. A little bit too hot there. Didn't look like it with that one-piece test, but it's not too far off. We're okay. All right, stay tuned. We're going to finish this up. Repeat. Get them all fried up on the rack, and then we'll come back in and close it out. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, all bagged up and frozen, and that will keep really good. I like to double bag them with double freezer bags, and of course all right okra on them. But what really makes a difference is doing that crispy breading, right? Because that breading really protects the vegetable. You don't have to fully cook them. If they need a little bit more cooking, that's okay, because when you bring them out, thaw them out, get them out to room temperature, I like to heat them up in the oven at like 200 degrees. You can microwave them, obviously, just to get them hot and eat right away. But if you warm them slowly after they're thawed out, they feel just like they're right out of the deep fryer. So, hey, thanks for watching. We are bagging okra. See you on the next cooking video. Your humble host, Triple T, Teacher Thomas Thailand at YouTube channel. Peace and love to everyone. Let's eat.